guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Jacobs Mitsubishi in Newport Richey, Florida. And guess what? I have one of those high-end dream machines when it comes to luxury. This is it. This is a 2021 Rolls-Royce Ghost. But before we get into this suicide door big sedan from Rolls, let's talk about what's going on here. Rolls-Royce. Why do they call this one the Ghost? It's because to honor a vehicle known as the Silver Ghost, which goes all the way back to 1906. Now, what's interesting is that since the last few years, Rolls-Royce has actually been driving on BMW chassis. This Ghost for 2021, what made it all new, what made it all incredible, is this is a purely Rolls-Royce chassis. Now, this vehicle is the smallest in their lineup. Obviously, we already brought you the Cullinan, which is the big boy. And when they brought back that Ghost name in 2009 at the auto show in Shanghai, originally it was on the 7 Series, that chassis, but now it has its own. What I want to find out is this the ultimate when it comes to that full-size luxury SUV? Let's dive in to our 2021 Ghost and find out. Right off the bat, the style. You could be on the moon and be wearing an eye patch and still know that this is a Rolls-Royce. Very unique in its shape, especially at the front. I love the way they did the LED projector beam headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and the turn signals nicely encased in that headlight housing. And if you notice, it's actually sunken into the front end of the vehicle as the hood kind of waterfalls right over the brow of it. Now, working your way down, you do have full functionality on the corner vents, nice and large, a little bit of chrome, mostly body colored, this beautiful dark blue. And of course, we need that cool air because we got a lot of heat exchangers, because wait until you see what's underneath the hood. Now, when we come across that grille, that is a major signifier in the Rolls-Royce brand. No matter if you look at the Cullinan, the Silver Spur, or this Ghost, you're gonna have that exterior chrome finish, nice vertical slots, forward-facing camera, the Rolls-Royce badge, and of course, the Spirit of Ecstasy, one of the last vehicles available with a hood ornament, and that is a beautiful one. Remember, you could make it retract so that nobody with sticky fingers wants a 5-finger discount. Working your way down, we got functionality on the bottom portion, really cleaned it up for 2021, and when we get up onto that hood, nice and long, because I'm telling you, wait until you see power plant wise what we have underneath that bonnet. When we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheels and tires. So you're gonna have these hand polished wheels. I saw them hand polished over at the Rolls-Royce factory in England. We got the center caps, which are self-centering. As you're rolling down the road, these stay the same with the double R. Look at those massive calipers with the Rolls-Royce badging. And then I like this nice V-shaped design all the way around with this wheel, 21-inch wheel, 255 on the width, 40 series sidewall. I'm gonna have Steven show off the suspension bits up top there with the upper control arm and shock absorbers. We got that air ride suspension, adaptive, all 4 corners, gonna give you that pure luxury drive, that Rolls-Royce experience as you're cruising down the road. Nice shape to the fenders. I love the way they work the fenders. Now, as we come down the side, we got our Rolls-Royce badge with our side marker light, of course, LED. Coming down the side, nice large color match mirrors. We got our 360-degree cameras, bright shiny chrome top and bottom. And then of course we have the suicide doors. That's how they open. And then on top of that, we do have our umbrellas, our Rolls-Royce. You can see the double R there, Rolls-Royce branded umbrellas. Easily slide right into the suicide doors. Nicely done. Wait until we show you the interior. Now, one thing you're gonna notice about the roof is how it's welded. The way that they have the actual roof, there's no seams. Look at how it's just seamless all the way down. You have a nice U shape to the top. That shark fin antenna kind of folds nicely into the roof. Massive quarter windows with the way that they flare out, that nice window treatment. And then I love that hard body line that comes nicely, so elegant, into the taillights. Speaking of taillights, of course, you're gonna get full LED lighting all the way around. You'll notice on that roof how everything comes down very sleek. And then we have our rear trunk area with the Rolls-Royce badge, dropping it like it's hot. You're gonna have your exhaust on both sides, quad tip, but now it's time. Let's go ahead, pop that hood and see what's powering our Rolls-Royce Ghost. All right, guys, we got the hood open. And no, when we say Ghost, we're not talking about Patrick Swayze in that movie making some pottery with Demi Moore. What we're talking about is making some power. Tasteful engine cover, lots of bracing, massive power. What do we got? We got a V12, not a V8, not a V6, not an inline six, a V12 6.7 liters with twin turbos, 563 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated to a ZF 8-speed automatic with all-wheel drive. This beast that weighs 5,700 pounds accelerates 0 to 60, 4.3 seconds, quarter mile, 12.7, top speed, 155 miles per hour. I hope you have a nice, deep fuel card with a lot of money on board, because MPG's 12 in the city, 19 on the highway. If you notice, when you pop the hood, the Spirit of Ecstasy retracts, and I kind of like the way we can show all the mechanisms to allow that to happen, because think about it. If she didn't retract, you go to work on this hood, underneath the hood, you're gonna get poked right in the family jewels by the Spirit of Ecstasy. Maybe you want that, but see how it's nice and sealed up top with the hood? What we're gonna do is we're gonna fire this up and see it in motion as the Ghost disappears. All right, guys, we're inside this Rolls-Royce, the high end of luxury. Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? And definitely you're rolling with the lifestyles of the rich and famous with Robin Leach, but crazy all of the things that they have in this vehicle. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm curious. If I was to win the lottery, if I was to rob a bank or sell my 401k, sell that off and all that I own, how much is this? MSRP is right around $320,000 for this vehicle. Let's see if it brings the goods to be the king to the door panels. I love what they did with the dark blue and then that off-white all leather. Of course, you're gonna have fine touches of real wood finish, and what's really awesome is that you have a 1,300 watt sound system with 18 speakers and magnesium ceramic cones within those speakers. A little bit of gloss black. You got a couple memory seat settings and massage seats. Nicely done. In that door pocket, you could put at least 4 British scones, maybe a muffin or 2 with some butter on top. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, more of that two-tone, a lot of gloss black. I am gonna zonk that. I wish they kind of did something with the gloss black. You got that analog clock. Small hand is for the hours, large hand is for the minutes. And then you're gonna have a 10.25 inch infotainment system. The problem is with this being owned by BMW, BMW owns Rolls-Royce, it's the older operating software. So I'm not really in love with it just because it is dated and this is a Rolls-Royce, so I'm expecting the best. But the cool thing is, just like always, you go into Spirit of Ecstasy, you could raise and lower that Spirit of Ecstasy very, very quickly right from the screen, and then you're back again. Let me throw it into reverse for you. Backup camera with trajectory, 360, very, very clear resolution. So they got you covered there, and then I'm gonna go right back into park. More of that open pore wood. This is for the volume. This is where you're gonna lock and unlock the door. So if you got a hot date, make sure you hit the button here to let them in. You got your hazards. I love the way they do the AC vents with these push-pull. It's almost like in a plane. And remember, Rolls-Royce makes airplane engines, especially during the turn of the century. You got your tabs here for your different radio setups. We have our AC controls. Not only dual climate, but dual blower fans. Soft, that's what Rolls-Royce calls low, medium, high, and max. temperature gauge, ventilated seats, 3 stages, and of course, 3 stages of heated seats, heated steering wheel, real wood. Open it up, 2 cup holders, close it up, nice and seamless. There's the Spirit of Ecstasy with that BMW iDrive controller knob. And then you got your window controls. Open this guy up, some felt lining. What you could put in there is your class ring that you got from your girlfriend when she gave you her class ring. You could keep that in there, it won't get scratched up. Soft leather. Open this bad boy up, more felt lining, USB-C. You could put the Hope Diamond in here, and there's wireless charging. Seats, double R, Rolls-Royce with the piping, nice dark finishes with that soft leather, all the seat controls your body could ever ask for. And then on top of that, the one thing that's missing is either a leather headliner or a sunroof in here. That to me is a big bummer. But why don't you come over to the business center? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Rolls-Royce Ghost. Hey guys, business time behind the wheel of this Ghost. Spooky, scary. We got this hand-polished chrome finish with the Ghost badge, illuminates at night. Look at the way the seat tracks are actually chrome, the seat rails, and you have chrome finishes on all of the seat controls. I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of room in here. One of the things to remember if you ever get into a Rolls-Royce is your start-stop button is placed on the left-hand side, not the right-hand side. So make yourself look like a pro and that you know what you're doing. Steering wheel, very thin on the rim of the steering wheel, but it's nice leather, some gloss black, that Rolls-Royce badge, electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and then you got your digital gauges, nicely displayed across the center, classy, but also contemporary. And there's a head-up display, which just adds to the overall experience in information. But why don't we go ahead, let's open up the suicide doors and get in the back seat of this Ghost. All right, guys, back seat time. I am literally in the lap of luxury. You can see the nice large openings with those suicide doors. You do have AC vents nicely placed on the frame rail here that open and close. Down below, we have not just regular floor mats, but lamb's wool. I almost feel terrible putting my feet on these floor mats. Air vents on the bottom, and then you have the large monitors behind each of the front seats with the electric adjustment. Super-sized pockets. You could put a copy of The Economist, Forbes, Business Daily, maybe National Enquirer, whatever floats your boat. More AC vents, more wood, so you can rub your wood in the back seat while you're being driven around. We got our AC controls. You got your jacks for headsets. I got plenty of headroom in here. I mean, this thing is just freaking ridiculous. And then watch this. Boop. You got a massive storage area with a 12 volt. This is where, you know, you could keep maybe some relics, some family heirlooms that were passed down, maybe some silver spoons or some expensive china. You could put that in there. And then there's a bunch of wood you could rub here because you keep rubbing it, it pops with 2 large cup holders. Of course, maybe some cappuccinos, a latte, a mocha latte or something like that. And then you got the seats, which remember my pet peeve, seat headrest must be all the way down. But very, very nice leather all the way down, wraps around with the piping. But let's go ahead, let's get into the trunk and see how many bags of money we could put in there in the back of this Rolls-Royce. All right, guys, trunk time. What's nice is you just hit the button, no hands needed other than that. Raises up electrically. You're gonna be greeted to 18 cubic feet of space. I almost am afraid to put anything in this trunk because of the beautiful carpet that we have. You'll notice we have the accessibility for a first aid kit in case you cut your hand pouring yourself a glass of champagne in the back seat. We got our nook over here. I'll get this out of the way. There's our nook for our luxury Twinkies. What's the difference between a regular Twinkie and a luxury Twinkie is that they have gold flake sprinkled all over them. Well, guess what? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go high-end style on throttle in this Rolls-Royce. All right, guys, we're in this 2021 Rolls-Royce Ghost. Now, the good news is there's no difference between the 2021 and the 2022 standard. They did add another trim called the Black Label, which has a little bit more horsepower, but I'm telling you right now, this thing has plenty of power. When you go on throttle, it just drops down and you are off and running. For a vehicle that weighs almost 6,000 pounds to do 0 to 60 in about 4.3 seconds, that's saying something. Driving the vehicle is actually a snap. With rear wheel steer, it allows slow movement to be very easy, and then as the speed increases, then it just makes it a little bit lighter feeling on its feet. I love looking out over that massive hood, seeing the Spirit of Ecstasy guide me down the road. You got that air ride suspension. You feel like you're on a freaking cloud. And the sound ending in here with the thickness of glass, you don't hear anything. You really don't, including the V12. You're not even hearing that, believe it or not. But the brakes work great, very phenomenal. Visibility is awesome, and you just feel like a rock star in this thing. Let me go ahead and go back on throttle here in about 2 seconds. On throttle, here we go. Golly, look at this thing. It is really, really fast, like crazy fast for its size. And what's even more amazing is that you're on your own unique chassis setup. So driving down the road, light steering feel, which I think is going to be nice for many different types of people to drive this vehicle. And then here's where that rear wheel steering just comes to your assistance to really make this more agile than what you think the spec sheet is going to feel about this. There's just something about a Rolls-Royce that you get it when you're inside. You kind of understand a little bit more why people aspire to have one of these vehicles and why they cost as much as they do. They really go through all of the fine details to make this vehicle super special and such a high quality level. I mean, never before do I think the quality is where it's been at in a very long time. Seats are comfy as to be expected, and you're really gonna spoil the hell out of whoever you're chauffeuring in the back seat. But as you can see, going down this road, it's just super smooth, super elegant. And in the tighter stuff, I'm telling you, that rear wheel steer is worth every single penny. All right, guys, we're gonna go on throttle from a dead stop. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, look at that. The 8-speed shifts like a hot knife through butter, and really just, like I said, everything just feels super high end in here, from the AC controls to the steering feel, just how quiet it is in here. I mean, this is how the 1%ers roll. This is it. And I got plenty of room in here, and to think that this is the smallest of the Rolls-Royce lineup is kind of mind-boggling, because this vehicle is not small by any means. Wow. But reading the gauges, the infotainment, all of the fine wood, I personally would like some dark finishes in here, because I would like something maybe a little bit more sporty yet luxurious. So dark stained wood, dark chrome finishes. But other than that, the blue, the color is so deep. It's deeper than the deepest portion of the Atlantic Ocean, and it almost feels like you could dive right into it. But hopefully you've enjoyed this little taste of the lifestyles of the rich and famous here on Rady's Rides. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a caviar eating, lifestyles of the rich and famous kind of day here with this Rolls-Royce Ghost. I definitely want to thank Kevin, Joe, and the rest of the crew getting us access to this very special luxury dream machine. Let me know what you think. Does this check off all the boxes to be the best, the king of all luxury sedans? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. We got to give it to the man, the myth, the legend. Women want him, dogs, they just love being around him. Stephen Flood Photography, doing the business. Show him some love in that comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.